Warning. The following podcast features terrible jokes, usually about board games. Like those jokes your dad tells that make you groan. Yeah, those kind of jokes. Accordingly, Boards and Swords and the producers must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt across.
I just crapped my alien pants.
By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. Have I told it on the podcast?
I'm pretty sure
you have.
At
Well,
least
I'm
twice.
telling it again.
Because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast where we have bad jokes, good folks, and some talk about tabletop games. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw. And here in studio, we got a grand crew of people.
We've got a full house here, people.
Yeah.
We've got.
Such as, I'm going to throw it over to my partner in crime, who's just a little bit older this year now.
Just a little bit older. What's going on, everybody? My name's Philip. Love me or hate me, I'm here in studio.
Wow. We love you.
Yeah, that's right. See, because the good book saith you must love thy neighbor. It does not saith you must like thy neighbor.
I love you so much that I shot you.
That's right.
I don't know. I don't think I did that much shooting, but we'll talk
about
We'll
that.
talk about that for our patrons.
There we go. That's right. Talk about that for them.
But also, we have our friends Corey and Jimmy here as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Because
Happy birthday, Phil.
Happy
Yay.
birthday, Phil.
Oh, I'm an old man.
because we're going to talk about Oath later on, which we would show off here, but somebody forgot to bring it.
There's not room. Where would we put it? You're going to cover up Evie?
It could have been behind you. And I think you're laying on one of the cords.
Oh, I tried my best to get that out of the way, but it's kind of complicated.
The headphone jacks were just like.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Not sure how to fix this.
Hang on. We're gonna fix it.
There's cords everywhere.
Pick those cords back up.
Here, I'm gonna put this over the microphone.
Nope. We're gonna.
I had most of these cords worked out.
There we go.
But
like normal, things don't always. They look great.
I was just sitting here talking, and I just saw the headphone thing just start to.
I saw it start to do that, and I pushed it back and tried to move things.
The battle
Guys,
plan
figure
never
it out.
survives contact with the enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Also, not the worst shape this place has been in.
No.
Actually, a pretty decent shape. But that's enough. That's enough.
We cleaned the stripper underwear off the fan.
Speaking of which, now that we have
Stripper underwear?
yes, I was gonna turn the fan on.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, got to start the show again. Let's just let's get to some news. I don't know. I like that. Who was that? Jimmy? Was that you?
Me,
That was Jimmy, yeah.
I was anticipating.
That's
We
good.
need to make a Jimmy news as well.
Yeah.
What was the Homestar? Did Homestar Runner have news?
Tunes. That's probably what you're thinking.
Tunes. Yeah. Okay.
Download.
Games. It might have had news.
It might have. Oh well.
That's like
We
I feel
can
like
never know.
everyone's trying to define like what age is a millennial. I feel
Yeah.
like you just Homestar Runner.
Yeah.
Did you go
Maybe
to E-Bombs World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to E-Bombs?
E-Bombs World.
Do you know 55?
55.
Newgrounds, Flash games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. getting
Anyway.
into some
Board games.
some games here. So if, and by if I mean when a baseball player takes steroids, is that considered BattleTech?
Yeah,
Do
I
all
guess you
baseball
could-
players bat? Do they all have to bat?
I think so.
I think so. Some
Yeah.
of them
You don't
only
just-
bat.
You have to
right?
like rotate through the whole roster.
You do rotate. Everyone bats, and then there are some people who only bat.
Yeah.
Designated.
Yeah, like your pitch hitters
Yeah.
and All right, but
you could have made it like a baking joke too. Just saying. Anyway, go ahead.
oh, battered.
BattleTech.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
Oh.
sorry. Okay. BattleTech.
Battle. So Kados Game Labs and the Army Painter have unveiled a BattleTech painter or BattleTech paint starter.
Oh.
It's an introductory paint kit. You can see here it is going to release in Q2, so sometime after March. It comes with a selection of the Army Painter speed paints, which is basically, if you're familiar with the contrast paints that Games Workshop does, it's a little bit thinner that you can, which is great because BattleTech is the kind of thing that you could just like spray it white and just do the speed paints or the contrast over. That's what I did for mine. I saw someone do it with like do contrast but in a camo type pattern, and it looked great on some BattleTech minis.
Does that just mean that when it hits into the like?
Yeah, it's more liquidy, so it flows into the recesses more, so you get that kind of like in depth. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like a cheat, you know, like people that have painted for a while won't use them. They have other techniques that do that, but when you're starting out, it's like the cheat code to, hey, I can get my models to look good without as much skill as.
Give me cash and gas.
What's the pros and cons? Well, the pros obviously that it makes it easy to.
The con is that everyone can tell that you use contrast paints.
Wow.
And so, because it makes it look good, but if you know what you're looking for, it's one of those like, oh yeah, that was totally
If you're mad because someone used a
no.
tool that made their time easier.
It's not that people look down. It's just like people would look down if you were using it in like a competition,
like a painting
competition.
Okay.
But like no one's gonna like look down on you if you had to put an army on the table.
Still
that was
mad
all
about it. It's just another tool. Use your tools.
This is true.
Well, it's a shortcut. That's what it is.
Do you painting? Oh, first of all, do painting competitions exist for me?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
And do they regulate what paints you can use?
No.
Well, then what's the problem?
Well, I mean, the problem isn't.
You're not a true painter, sir.
I'm sorry, you're
that's
not this purely aesthetic platform. I'm talking shit, and I know nothing about this world. It just feels like it's an aesthetic competition. Just let people use the paints they want to use.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's another question, Chris. What? I see that.
I'd like to change the subject.
I see that mechs are spelled apostrophe mechs.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's short for battle mech.
Oh, okay.
It's slang.
Okay. Question answered. Thank you.
So this is going to come with a brush-on primer, 5 speed paints, a metallic paint, 3 standard paints that are like your regular kind of paint, and a starter brush for $44.99.
Okay.
I saw that and I was like, that seems like a lot. And then I counted up the paints, and you're talking about a primer, 5 paints, that's 6. A metallic
10
paint,
paints total.
10 paints total.
$4.50 a paint.
And a brush.
Yeah,
Not that bad.
that's actually not that bad.
Okay.
Considering like GW paint's now like $8 a bottle for like a little.
Now are
A little
these,
goes a long way, though.
Yeah,
Right. Are these paints airbrush compatible?
I mean any paint is airbrush compatible.
Wow.
you just gotta thin them out usually.
Okay. Very nice.
That's like one of the lessons I learned quickly is like they make airbrush paints,
You don't need them.
but they're usually crap because you still have to like Games Workshop has an airbrush line, like an air line. You still have to thin them out. Like they're not.
Oh, wow.
They're still thick in and of themselves. It's like if I got to thin it out, why am I
What's the
buying
point?
your air paint when I could just use the regular paint
Right.
and
Thin it
still
out.
thin it out?
So, Chris, I see that these are standard colors. What would you use pink for? Is there like someone in BattleTech that like specifically you would need a pink color for?
So this is the colors fit into a color scheme for house mechs, but paints can also accommodate. And they say house mechs again. I'm assuming they mean clan mechs. I want to say one of the main houses in BattleTech, because it's also very like knights sort of thing where there's like kings and stuff.
On heraldry and whatnot.
Yeah, I feel like one of them is pink.
Oh,
I don't remember off the. I'll have to look that up for later.
it just seemed like a very bubblegum color amongst all of these like ochres and like dark greens.
Maybe it's to fake it out. because you get these giant Atlas class mechs that are painted pink, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then you just get absolutely obliterated.
Love it.
You get obliterated by the Lollipop Guild.
So are you going to be buying this, or do you have enough paint?
I have enough paint.
Yeah.
Also, Army Painter is a great paint to start with until you use other paints.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I have plenty of Army Painter paint. I have not used them in years. I like the color. I liked the colors of like the GW stuff, but then that's expensive, and I've now been switching to Vallejo because those are really nice and everybody likes them online, but I hadn't been using them because you can't get them at the store. And I like being able to just like if I'm painting, walk over and grab the paint. But now they started selling the D&D Prismatic series, which is because like WizKids has been publishing their like D&D minis, and now they have a paint line, and they decided to contract out with Vallejo. So it's just Vallejo paint with a D&D wrapper on it.
Okay.
But they have a rack of it now at the store, so I can I can buy Vallejo paint at the store. By the way, Rusted Beetle GW does make an airbrush line. It's called the Air Paints. All you get, like, there's a lead belcher air color, and so go suck on that. I don't know. Don't tell me what GW does or doesn't make. Who do you think you're talking to here? He says Vallejo is pretty awesome. I love the Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl paints. I have not tried those. But also, I know a lot of people like there's a scale 77 or something like that. I don't know the name. It's another one that's not available by store, so I haven't tried it. All right. Next up, there's a good chance that you're roped into this game. Scythe is getting a sequel.
The bear. They have the bear.
Bear backpack.
The
Fantastic.
Scythe Maker announces exploration-focused board game sequel with meteorites, corruption, and more bears.
More bears.
They knew what we liked.
Yeah.
100% more ready for more Siberian adventure.
Fantastic.
I didn't do that. I didn't write this article. A sequel to the popular game Scythe will arrive by mid-2023 and is already accepting pre-orders. This was announced beginning of the month, so February 1st. Scale 75. Thank you.
So are they going to make... So it's still a competitive game, sounds like?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be the second board game created by Stonemaier Games set in the 1920-plus world of mech-dominated Siberia and Eastern Europe. Players will compete to explore the frozen tundra in search of meteorite fragments and the powers they bestow. There was more. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out. There was more later on down here. 1 to 5 players will compete against one another, playing cards to harness 2 resources, power and guile.
Oh.
By playing different cards, these also reportedly bestow workers with unique abilities. A teaser trailer showed off character cards for Anna and her bear companion, Wojtek. Wojtek.
I think the W is more of a V sound. Voltec.
Votek.
Yeah.
5 massive mechs represented by miniatures on the board will travel to different locations to gain more cards by solving quests, discovering meteorites, and collecting items. Those mechs can be enhanced through sessions that can last between 60 and 90 minutes.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it should evoke it's called Expeditions. It should evoke a similar feeling to Scythe despite the suite of wholly new mechanics. So you can go ahead and pre-order this now. Very good chance this will probably sell out pretty quickly.
Is
Yeah.
Jakob?
Yes. Yep.
Is he doing
Yep.
art again?
That guy. Yep.
Good for him.
Razalskis. Jakob Razalskis.
I bought a couple of his prints. They're in our game room. Pretty
With
cool.
Phil's big
Yeah.
dude holding up the
Didn't
D20
you,
that's on
didn't
fire.
you back the board or the video game that they made in that universe? I know you sent it to me,
they
and
made
you're like,
an
"Hey,
RTS game.
I
Yeah.
might have just sent it to you. I don't.
okay." I thought you had gotten it.
I find Scythe so hard to play on a computer because you can't, I
See the whole board.
can't pay attention to what everyone else is doing on the
That's very
computer.
true.
Yeah.
I have the app, and I just honestly just Scythe in general. I haven't played in forever because
Yeah.
it's in that intimidating factor of,
Yeah.
We're
What-
gonna have to do this.
and it's like a huge box. you know?
Yeah, it's a big box game. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
And
it's just a big thing to set up. Of course, I saying this considering I spend most of my time playing Warhammer, which
Yeah.
takes forever to set up.
and that you had to buy the box. It didn't even come- you had to buy an extra box.
Yeah. All right.
Didn't even come with a box.
This next website, Gamefound, a bunch of money last year. So the Kickstarter competitor Gamefound made $28 million last year.
Sweet bet.
Increased its overall revenue by 45% over 2021, I'm assuming.
So what sets them apart from Kickstarter?
They're purely board game, or they're purely gaming related, and they're just not Kickstarter.
Okay. Do they do like a similar amount of fees?
I think so. They also do a lot of back end stuff that, like, normally companies have to do to like backer kit to like fulfill.
Cool.
They don't have to for this. There's also a lot of you don't have to. You don't if you miss the Kickstarter, if you miss the campaign, you're not out of luck. You can late pledge.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
they have like it's basically they have like phases where they have like the campaign, and then they have like late pledge, and then like pre-order, when it's about to ship.
Yeah.
Right.
And you just pay a premium because we're late.
I think the prices probably go up, or because it's usually like the retail is higher. You'll pay like retail versus like the backer price.
Well, that's nice.
Didn't one of these companies start out as a back end company and then they were like,
Well, BackerKit made a crowdfunding.
they did? Okay.
Yeah. And Gamefound might have started
I was
off that
thinking
way. I think you're right.
Because there's a couple of board games that's like, and now we're going to go to Gamefound for our fulfillment. And I was like,
I think so.
Gamefound
Well,
just
it
do
started.
that?
I think Gamefound started off as the people that do Awaken Realms. It was their fulfillment system, and then they started it to be. Then they made it so like, oh, we're just going to do all of our campaigns on here, and then it was like, well, we're going to have other campaigns on here now, and it just kind of built up from there. Yeah, they started operating like BackerKit, but quickly turned into another Kickstarter. Yeah.
Cool.
So they admit. So despite the success, they've admitted that the total revenue ended up falling short of the company's target goal of $67.5 million. What did they say? That 28 million. Yes, that's quite a ways off.
That's a little more.
So 25% of the revenue by Kickstarter's tabletop gaming campaigns. That's what they were targeting. Was at 67.5. So their goal for 2023 is 50 million this year.
Good luck.
But a lot of the rest of this article just talks about how a lot of campaigns underperformed last year, which is funny because you see like Elden Ring, the board game, on here, but that thing still earned millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, not as much as they predicted it would.
I want to read up on why they're different from Kickstarter. Like, I'm glad that we have competition. I just wonder why
the
people
big
do
push
them.
to them came when Kickstarter doing that whole, we're going to do NFTs and
Wild.
yeah, when they started that kind of, I think it was around this time last year was when, and then everybody started being like, let's find other sites to do.
Yeah.
But I think that's the biggest things is, hey, we're not Kickstarter. Hey, we're solely focused on board games. And hey, we've got that back end stuff that helps publishers.
Yep.
What
NFTs,
percent
man.
of Kickstarter do you think is board games? Because I feel like that's a huge section.
It is a huge part. And I had that number at one point, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it is right now.
Like,
but
know
I
they
wanted
do a
to
lot of,
say
like,
it was-
little tech gadgets. And,
Yeah.
like,
Oh
eco
yeah,
stuff, but
it was one of the things when I was looking into getting a Switch, there was a thing on Kickstarter of a whole like
Yes, you sent me
battery
it.
pack.
It was like it
uh,
Gundamified.
it was a Gundam themed, but it had like
Oh.
battery pack and Bluetooth adapter for headphones, and
you're
it
describing Mad Cats.
spread out your
Yes,
yeah,
it was
basically,
a
yeah.
Mad Cats type thing.
Did you get a little light up screen that popped over top?
No, because the Switch lights up on
It
its
has
own.
its
Okay,
own
yeah. But there is something called the Game Boy Light.
Yeah.
That still it was like Japanese only. It still had the grayscale, but
They had a backlight.
remember the like old Casio watches where it had that green backlight
Yeah.
coming through? It had that thing you could turn on.
That's cool. So did you get this Gundam thing?
No, because I don't have a Switch.
You didn't get Switch.
But I was like, that was my whole thing. I was like, if I get a Switch and I get that, and the thing, there's like the regular Switch and the OLED Switch, and then they had different models for the accessory kit, and I was just like, I don't know.
And then he bought an airsoft gun. It's
OLED, the thing.
But
where
then there
it's
was
just
stuff.
darker
It's like
darks.
or I could like take a trip to Vegas, or I can go on vacation, or I can do all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Also, Russell Beetle, I
Priorities.
know their mics are quieter, but that's.
Oh,
I don't
no,
want to
there's
say
a
by
black-
I don't want to say by
Well-
design. It's just the fact of the matter at this point.
Gotcha.
Some of my cables need to be replaced, and I was only able to, in the time
Do
frame,
this.
replace just Philip and my mics.
Fair. Side note though, OLED. That's when the darks are darker, right? What is?
I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Everything's just a little sharper.
You just got to take the mic off and just hold it.
Hello.
Clip it to
Hi.
your nose.
I mean, I fully could. No, that's dangerous. It's dangerous. No one wants to talk into my
All
nose
right.
mic.
Be like a weird CPAP machine.
Moving on. Hasbro's next D&D adventure is about finding a way to commit robbery and make off with a bunch of money. Also, there's a new book coming out. So, Keys from the Golden Vault. That's the next book from D&D. So if you're still playing D&D at this point, Wizards of the Coast released details on D&D Keys from the Golden Vault, which is a heist adventure book
Okay.
for release later this month, February 21st. It contained 3, so it's not an adventure like a solid campaign. This is going to have, it's one of their what do they call it, anthology type books. It's like combined things. 13 heist theme adventures designed for characters 1 through 11. They can be run as a one shot, run consecutively as part of a campaign, or you can like pick and pull them into your own. I generally like these
like it,
books.
Yeah.
They've done, this is probably like the 3rd or 4th one they've done, and they're all really, they're usually pretty good.
Yeah. Because who has time for a campaign these days?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, we're too busy.
Well, it's also great because it's a, it's usually like these are usually like hella themed, and so that they're like individually they're great. Like if you ran them all together, it'd get kind of old and boring. But like individually, they're really good. Like the Candlewood Adventures, I think is what's called.
Candlekeep?
Candlekeep. Thank you. That one was all great. Where it was all about like the party finds a book in this library, and then like they get sucked into the book or something happens,
Right,
or it was all surrounding like the concept of this. There's something up with this book type thing. That
We
was
gotta
kind of
stop
the
opening
prompt.
books.
Yeah.
No more reading. It's bad for you.
Burn the books. Oh wait.
Wait a minute.
So, and then there was the Tales from the Radiant Citadel, which they farmed out to a lot of like creators in the D&D space to get a bunch of newer voices in, and it all revolved around this this new place that they made called the Radiant Citadel. I liked that. The only problem was they spent like one chapter introducing this citadel, and then none of the adventures took place in it. It was all just kind of like the starting point.
LOL.
And so I was like, I want more stuff in that cool place you
Well,
described.
that's what you got to write, Chris.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sure. Okay.
In all my
Cool.
time.
Yeah.
There's a post that floats around. It says D&D heists will always end up as either 007, Pink Panther, or Benny Hill.
Yes.
And
Or all of the above.
and you never know which one it's going to happen. And it's like, first of all, it's always going to end up as Benny Hill.
That's what I say. It's going to be like all of the above. So this is the big theme concept here is it's going to be the Golden Vault, a secretive organization that hires the PCs as operatives to perform heists. The adventures in this book emphasize player choices as each heist has multiple routes ending up in a successful one, which I like. So it's not a railroad. Also includes a map for DMs and map for players to help plan the heist. It'll come in 2 versions like usually does in retail for $49.95.
Nice.
So
I'm excited to see if they change the mechanics for heists. I feel like a lot of other games have very
I
successfully
don't
made.
think that you need to.
I mean, like Honey Heist, way funnier and way more fun to do narratively, I think,
Yeah.
than D&D.
Right.
Because, like, how many investigation checks can you fail before you just can't proceed?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's annoying.
And I think with D&D being
inherently set up for combat. It's sort of. I mean, I know they have social role stuff, but I feel like other games can be more rewarding for social and like deception type
Stuff. Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a barbarian and punch the door.
Yep.
Right.
And this is my shocked face. So for our last story, guys, you know what would suck so much? If you were the #1 RPG in the industry and you screwed up so immensely that your competition ran out of stock. So, viewers watching the stream will notice that the article that I'm about to pull up here is actually different than your link at home, because literally as I was eating dinner, I had an article. The article that was going to be here was talking about how Paizo ran out of 8 months worth of stock in 2 weeks, thanks to this OGL concept. But as I was eating dinner, I found this article, which says that the OGL controversy turbocharged just about every other RPG besides D&D. And I thought this was far more funnier to talk about on the show here. So get out of here. So it's been D&D has been synonymous with role-playing games, but brand awareness has traditionally helped it used to the lion's share of sales, leaving smaller publishers and independent creators to fight over crumbs. As one person tells down here, I'm sure you've heard the joke several times. Magpie Games co-founder and CEO wrote to Polygon an email. Us indie designers have spent the last 20 years trying to get D&D fans to try something different, and Wizards of the Coast gets it done in a month. So, Cobalt Press says that its sales quadrupled in January.
Oh, wow.
Goodman Games, which I don't know off the top of my head, but I feel like Goodman Games is the people that do... Hold on. Are they the ones that do...
No idea.
Let's see. Yes, Dungeon Crawl Chronicles.
Okay.
Or Dungeon Crawl Classics, that's it. It's got that very old school looking things. It's like the big thick book too. Yeah. If I
and I bet Magpie is
Happy
doing
boys.
pretty good now, right now.
I was trying to find the link. But yeah, Goodman Games said had its best month of sales since 2003.
Wild.
20 years.
That's 20 years. 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
So that now you might recognize it now. The Dungeon Crawl Classics. That's the Well, you don't like Love Mutants of Castle Heartache?
Gotta say no.
Gotta say no.
Ooh, I just realized that tongue's going straight for a nipple.
Oh man, I will promise you this.
How much is that PDF?
I don't want that promise.
That's
I don't want it.
$7 for that PDF.
Yeah, you can get the print and PDF for $10.
Oh, hey.
I will promise this
Phil,
right
that dude
now.
looks kind of like you.
I will promise this right now. If someone gets our Patreon back up to $50 by the end of this month, we're running it.
No,
we're
I
running
don't
it.
like
it doesn't have to be. It'll be at least me and Philip. I'll drag
I was
someone.
gonna say Philip will be the guy, and you get to dress up like that green lady, and then I'll get my camera and we'll.
I will
that
drag.
shoot.
I will drag other victims in here, and we will play that.
You could pay me $50, I'll do it.
Honestly, I'll do it for 2 slices of pizza.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's where I was talking about. So the basis of this joke to begin with was that Paizo published an article saying that they had a 8-month supply of books that they had in their store. They sold out of them in like 2 weeks.
Good for
8
them.
months
job,
worth of
Paizo.
stock. I remember I was at our local game store and someone was asking about Pathfinder books, and I just giggled as I heard them talk about like, yeah, we're sold out and we can't get any more for a while.
That's awesome. Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that I have been intrigued by potentially playing some Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Yeah.
Didn't we start a Starfinder game with
We
you?
did. We
Yeah.
did start a Starfinder game, and then it just kind of fell off because we all ended up just talking the whole time.
Yeah.
No.
That was the like in the midst of COVID quarantine. It was like we just want to talk.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well,
So, but speaking of which, if you do want to be interested in Pathfinder, there is a Humble Bundle going on right now that you can get a lot of Pathfinder 2nd Edition PDFs. I didn't put that in here.
how dare you?
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like I got
Dungeon Crawl Classics. That's great.
Yeah. So Dungeon Crawl Classics is the game where you start off as a level 0 where you make like 4 characters and whoever survives is the character you play.
Okay, gotcha.
Fair.
They call it the funnel.
Okay.
Funnel.
Yeah. So,
Can you treat it like Dorkness Rising, where he had like a ream of characters, just like the 8th, the 12th, the 29th, the 35th.
but it's also not very hard because it's only like you basically only have like base stats because you're not even an adventurer yet.
Okay, wow.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't like the rest of us say I don't like the site redesign. Yeah, we were at like $25, so we need to double.
On news and Patreon, did you guys hear about the people from Dimension 20?
Yes.
Abria, Lou.
Yes,
Erica.
worlds beyond number.
Yeah,
that was going to be one of the news articles because like sometimes I just list a bunch of stuff and then I kind of prioritize what do I want to talk about. But that was one of the articles I had originally put in there.
I'm very excited for it. It's going to be so good.
Its Patreon has gone astronomical and they don't even have an episode out yet.
Yeah, no, I think that they promised like their world building and their session 0, and that's all that's coming.
So it's Brandon Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20.
Yep.
Lou
Wilson also from Dimension 20.
Abria Iyengar
Also
of
from
multiple
Dimension 20.
things.
Yeah.
And Erica Ishii of multiple things.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Very excited.
So it's their own independent thing, right? Like it's a completely new. It's not a part of anything else.
It's not.
Yeah.
They wanted something that was creator owned. So
Yes.
Yeah.
And they had a name for their first campaign. I didn't put it.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, Jimmy has Patreon, and so I was waiting for him to get home so I could be like, "Hi, I'm buying things on your Patreon." And then
You don't have his login?
I'm sure I do, but before you spend other people's money, you should probably at least tell them that you're doing it.
Speaking of spending other people's money, this sounds like a great
job,
time to talk about Manscaped.
Hey.
As Philip pulls up his script.
It moved. We were talking and it moved. There we go. Chris, Phillips. There we go. Did my part go away? Oh no, there. Why are there like 5 extra rows in between?
There's 2.
Huh?
There's 2.
No, there's not.
There's 2.
I can see it. Do you want me to read for Philip?
I've got it. Got it.
Just kidding.
Tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. The tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. Support for Boards and Swords is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Recently, they launched the ultimate men's hygiene bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TEAMSWORDS at manscaped.com.
Team Swords.
Look, I tain't gonna mince words here. Trimming that undercarriage is weird. There's no getting around that. You're trying not to get too close. You got the doors closed. You're hoping no one knocks on the door and asks you what you're doing in there. Just like my joke telling here, I embraced the cringe and tried out Manscaped, and I am really impressed. Inside their performance package, you can find their lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the weed whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. I tried that the other day. That was interesting.
Did it make your eyes water?
No, I did the nose part. It's just weird feeling like or hearing the cutting inside your nose.
Yeah.
But it's also smooth, so like it's not like it's sharp. But,
Yeah.
So, and then you got the like I said, the weed whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, crop preserver, a ball deodorant, and the crop reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. The 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4000K LED spotlight for when you need a more precise shave. And so the biggest thing I've been impressed by is something I've been coming to terms with when I go on conventions and you're doing the long walks back and forth. Chafing. Oh my God.
No.
So, are you tired of chafing, walking back and forth from the Gen Con dealer hall in your hotel and the dead heat of summer? Try the Crop Preserver below the waist deodorant and the Crop Reviver below the waist toner. It will change the way you approach your daily hygiene routine.
Ooh.
And
Now-
your second. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
we got
okay,
another
yeah.
thing here. Okay.
Yeah. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code TEAMSWORDS at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Gotta say, Team Swords is a
Team Swords is great.
hilarious.
Did you guys come up with
coupon
Team
code.
Swords?
I did, yes.
Very
Perfect.
funny.
Why?
Oh, why? Why?
Whoops.
Why?
No, like why isn't?
Oh.
Okay.
Why is it funny?
Yes.
I can. Do you want me to explain it?
No.
Okay.
And now I see the 5. I see the 5 lines.
Yeah,
now.
see, I was
It
like,
was on
wow,
the
there's
back
so
end.
many lines.
Don't open the door, Mom. I'm spotlighting my undercarriage.
Well, that's that TikTok sound always floating around. Jimmy, what are you doing in there? Drugs.
So the ball deodorant, is that what they said is good for chafing? What
Yes.
was good for chafing? Yeah.
Yes, the
So-
crop preserver.
Yeah, the crop preserver.
That's a great
that
name.
could be good. I mean, I've always just used powder. You ever
Yes.
use baby powder?
Yes.
Prevent
That's what I
chafing?
started with.
Now, see, sometimes you can use too much powder, and then when you in my case, you sit down and a cloud of powder comes up. That has happened to me before.
We went
All of a
to
sudden, you're smuggling cocaine. Right? What's going on there, buddy?
Yeah.
we went to Disney with friends, and for some reason we were all in the same guys' bathroom, like 6 of us.
Mhm.
3 of us were not guys, but all of the guys were just handing baby powder underneath of the stalls, and
Yep.
just clouds of baby powder everywhere. Anyway,
But yeah, support. They reached out to us. Said we're very grateful. So if people go help support them, support us. That'd be great.
if
That's
your
awesome.
pronouns are she, her, you can still use it.
Yeah, it's only just the company is called Manscaped.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't need balls to use ball. What is
Deodorant.
it?
Ball
Crop-
deodorant.
Crop preserver.
Crop preserver.
Everyone needs crops preserved.
Yep.
It's winter.
I did. It was too much. There was a GIF that they had for like their video, the in all the material to throw up there. That was just a GIF that just was like God Bush. I was just like, that's a stretch too far.
No, because I'm just sitting here now, just because I'm on TikTok way too much. This is an old sound, but the woman is talking to her man. It's like, no, I haven't like groomed or anything. It's like we're tramping through the bush.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, man.
We've reached the
If
PG-13
anyone-
portion of the broadcast.
Anyway, Team Swords for 20% off.
If
Manscaped.
anyone wants lots and lots of messages from Phil, just join TikTok. He needs friends to send things to.
So I have to highlight a couple things before we start talking about Oath because I've been busy. I've been very busy in painting, as you will see up
Lots
here
of
on the
terrain,
monitor.
yeah.
Lots of terrain.
Beautiful.
So I got the End of the Dark, which is like the spaceship terrain, and I started painting it. I wanted to paint it like a Navy ship, and it just came out terrible. This is what happens when I try and come up with my own designs with things, and it's terrible. So I did what I always do and found something online and just copied it.
There
It
you go.
looks good. Are the skulls decorative, or do
Yes.
they power the spaceship?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, they do have floating heads that just like do stuff.
Yeah. They've got like mouse droids that are actually floating heads.
Yeah. So what I did here is basically I primed it black, and then I did what's called a zenithal highlight, which is basically I took an airbrush at an angle and sprayed kind of like a steel color onto it to kind of give it this kind of speckled look.
Pretty.
And then I took the newer contrast paints. So they came out with a Wave 2, but these formulas were less. The Wave 2 of contrast was less of a. It was a little bit thicker than it was before, so it wasn't so much of like a wash. But they did really great with like neon. So like Rusty Beetle said, he likes the monitor bank. Yeah, this was like I took the green and then the orange here to do the wires and the monitors there. And then there's like a red I used for some of the first, like you can see back there for like for LED type look effects and stuff.
It's pretty cool.
And then yeah, I think it's illegal to purchase 40K terrain without 500 skulls.
Oh.
She doesn't have
She doesn't
headphones in.
I don't have
headphones. She doesn't
headphones.
know what's going on. Yeah.
And then I got to play with said terrain.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I tried out the new boarding actions version of 40K, which is like 500 points. So if anybody, Rusty Beetle might remember this because I know he's older. Space Hulk. This is basically the Space Hulk version of 40K, where it's very different. Like for instance, in 40K, like if one dude can see your guys, everybody in that group can shoot. But in boarding actions, each individual person has to have their own line of sight. So your own guys can block line of sight to like the enemy. So I would do like a little. It was funny with these two guys when I moved them up. I did kind of like a V, so that everybody could see.
Yeah,
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Nice.
This looks like
Quack.
a scarier version of Too Cool, the like flicky game.
Oh,
Ice Cool.
Oh, Ice Cool.
Ice Cool.
Yeah. The grim dark version. But yeah, so and it's a lot more. It was a little bit slower pace because it takes like an action to open these doors. So like it takes like a turn just to open this, and then somebody else can go through. But like you can't go up, open the door, and go through. So you don't have everybody just like rushing across the board. Like it got to turn 2 or 3 before we were ever fighting. Whereas in some games of 40K, you could be losing by turn 1.
Yeah, that's
They can't do what Chris's characters in RPGs do and just punch holes in walls.
Yeah. Oh no! You got to remember, I failed to do that a
Sorry,
couple times.
attempt to punch holes in walls.
So I would say it would probably work more in this type of game. Can you run turns concurrently? To where like it's good, like from where all your you've got the game set up, you can see everything. It's going to take 2 turns before either of us can actually engage.
No,
in
because
battle.
somebody could have special rules that like lets them like go extra farther. Like in this game, it was like that was because of the units we had here. But like if these guys were equipped with, these were the more melee type Space Marines. If these were the regular Space Marines that had bolt rifles instead of bolt pistols, they'd be able to shoot from where they're at.
Gotcha.
It was just I brought the ones with that gave them better melee, so they only had 12 inches of range instead of 24. But the new version of Kill Team that this is based off. So imagine half the board that would be Kill Team. That is more we alternate actions kind of thing. Like I pick a group, you pick a group.
Gotcha.
Kind of how most people do games nowadays. Recipe says, or like if they were Tau. Yeah, Tau is like shooting. Tau would be all the way back here, just like wiping you off across the board.
Did they have
what else did I
have? Damn it! What's his name? Guardians of the Galaxy with the arrow.
Oh yeah,
Yondu?
Yeah, Yondu. Yeah, just stand in the security room and have your arrow fly over there.
Oh yeah. And then, like I said, I've been doing lots of painting. I've been painting up the Black Templars because that's gonna be my new favorite army, I think.
All right.
And I was like, I'm really gonna focus on their big dude and try and do some techniques I haven't done before. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this model ended up turning out. So this is High Marshal Helbricht.
Is he the Primarch?
Well, he's the chapter master.
Okay.
Does he use a hammer as a flail? It looks like
in his left.
Well, no.
hand there.
So it's they all their weapons are chained to their arms.
like
Oh, my.
Kratos.
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
But yeah, like
Yes.
their pistols are chained to their hands, and like their swords are chained to their hands.
Wow.
So yeah, you can
Why?
see here. These guys are like
How come?
they are in a very fascist regime type thing. These guys are the zealots. So they
Okay.
are the Emperor's wrath made. Like these are the ones that say that make sure if you don't call him the God Emperor, then that's heresy and you must be killed.
So it's flagellation to just like
I think it has to do with a always prepared kind of thing.
Okay.
Like it's like I won't be separated from my sword or my weapon
Gotcha.
kind of thing. Safety first in the grim dark.
they could not use the manscaping.
But yeah, I even did some cool things where I took bits of sprue, like the plastic sprues that they come on, and I chopped them up to make these bricks down on the bottom.
cool.
Oh, those aren't part of the base.
No,
Okay.
I made this base. Like
You did a great job.
The plastic, the kind of rocky terrain that's here. That's that base. or that was the
Okay.
base he comes with. I did
Okay.
the like the brick looking things on the
Neat.
bottom.
Does he get any bonus for the 2 like little helpers?
Yes, I think he does. I think technically these guys can shoot as well.
Oh, nice. Gotcha.
Yes, that's right. Because like, he's got like a pistol, and then there was also like a 2-handed gun. And I was like, how is he firing both? And it's like, oh, because that guy back there is the one shooting it.
Nice.
But yeah, I even did some new things where instead of just painting this guy green, I did like a regular green, and then I used a contrast color to kind of give me the washes.
Mhm.
And then I did a dry brush of a lighter green to kind of give the accent on top. So, yeah, I'm very happy with what I did. But see, like anything flesh colored, that's contrast paint for me.
It looks good.
So,
I'm just visualizing that playing out in like a video game or a cartoon.
oh,
Like he takes his sword and he clashes, and then all of a sudden from like underneath his cape is just ha.
and then you guys saw me when I was actually painting this. I was like, okay, what's my next big project gonna be? And I had the Magnus the Red from the Thousand Suns. He is the demon Primarch. He had been sitting over there staring at me, and I was like, yeah, I want to paint because like he's a really big Lord of War type creature, kind of like these guys back over here. But I wanted to paint that kind of demon ass. But every time I look at him, I could not think anything else other than Illidan Stormrage. So even though he's supposed to be red, I started painting him up like Illidan Stormrage. So
Very cool.
I really like the wing color.
Yeah.
yeah, that was some goofing off I did. I kind of like accidentally did that.
That is
Good
pretty weird.
accident.
Are they cyber wings or wings?
No, they're supposed to be just demon wings.
Okay.
Or yeah, they're supposed to be more like feathers. These are feathers, but Illidan has those kind of like demon wings, which gave me the theme for it. So again, I suck at coming up with colors by myself, but I was referencing a picture of Illidan, which helped me pick the colors out. Looks like Tim Curry's demon from the Legend movie.
Sure does.
Yeah. And actually, he's gotten. If afterwards I can show you, I've actually done some more. Like I did base coating some of like the green for his tapestry kind of stuff, since that's the way kind of his pants were.
Right.
And then I did brown for the horns just as the undercoat, because then I'll do the bone on top of that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Does
So-
he have an eyeball in his hand?
It does look like it.
You gonna paint that?
I don't know. Maybe. That's one of those when I get to details where I'm like,
Do I care?
Yeah, do I care? Exactly. So, yeah. Did I put... Okay, that was the last... Okay, so, Phil, what have you been up to?
Not a whole much board game related, and we got our well, yeah, everyone in this room, we've got our Star Wars campaign
Oh,
that
yeah.
we've been doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
We're all
So you
cloned.
want to expand on that?
We're so we are doing a in the style of Bad Batch type of story. All of us are clones. We're all really good at one thing. Although the
And that one thing is murder.
dice are not cooperating.
Do they ever?
Some nights.
Some nights.
Yeah. But like we'll succeed on the most stupid things.
Yep.
Like, everyone roll perception checks. Yeah, we all got triumphs.
Or we didn't.
Or we did. Yeah. There's no real in between. We're all really good or
You
really
succeeded in brute forcing a safe open.
bad. I did.
That's
I
true.
ripped it out of the
Literally
wall.
ripping it open.
I shot a door open because we couldn't get it open.
Yeah, we
Well,
did
that's just
that.
classic Star Wars.
That is-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I was reading. I was doing a little reading. A lot of the stuff is it's a safety feature built in because they're in space. So when the door mechanism gets destroyed, the doors always close
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it could be that there's vacuum on one side.
Yeah.
Suck the door. Yeah, so that's a safety feature.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
it's-
a bug, it's a feature.
It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah, but it's also one of those things of like, okay, when we all decide, when any of us decides to like become an evil overlord, you're like, okay, yeah, no. Anytime you shoot a door panel, it does the opposite of whatever the door is currently.
You're all getting sucked
Yeah.
into space.
If the door's open, it stays open. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Also, our elite death troops, Clear visors. Clear visors. That way there's no, like, you know, if we're some sort of sexist overlord and like, all of our evil, you know, death troopers are men, and we see Corey's face.
I can look
Obviously, no.
manly.
there's, you're like, maybe you're doing like a pink hair phase or something. I don't know. You're like, none of our troopers have pink hair. Actually, the one I really liked from the Overlord handbook, it was anytime there's something with a timer, it's always set to go off at 4 minutes and 27 seconds instead of at 0.
I don't get it.
Well, because usually everything like gets aborted at like the last second.
Oh, okay. I thought 427 was like a
Nope.
a reference.
That's like, it's like, when the heroes finally getting their plan together, they know what they're going to do. It's somewhere at like 5 minutes or
Yeah,
something.
fair.
Nope.
Nice.
It's kind of it's like the Ozymandias and Watchmen, where he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
I've
you
already
just
done it.
revealed your evil plan." Oh yeah, well it went off like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, like I
We're good.
Really think I would explain it.
like I turned on the half-hour timers 29 minutes ago. So,
Yeah.
Once we so Rusty Bill says once we went through a wall because the door was too reinforced. The wall was 3 feet of stone and was a cakewalk compared to that stupid door. Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yep.
that was a did anyone watch Burn Notice?
No.
No.
Yeah, remember that? Oh, there was the show always starts off, "My name is Michael Weston, and I used to be a spy." And he talks about, like, there was this drug dealer underneath the club he was renting an apartment from. And he was like, they always reinforce their doors. They don't do anything about the 2 feet on either side of the door. But that's always where they try to hide. So he was like, you're right about... Bam, bam! Still got the guy in the leg.
Nice.
And then just, like, broke through the wall.
Wall.
Nice.
So, but yeah, we only played 2 sessions of that.
We only did 2 sessions.
We're still getting situated.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But what we had been playing, but then last time we ended up talking too much about PAX stuff, is we had played, at least y'all had played more than I have, Oath,
Yeah.
Chronicles of Empire and Exile from Leader Games.
Whoop, whoop.
So this is the game that you've heard Corey talk about is what was Cones of Dunshire.
Cones of
Yes.
Dunshire, for
Yes.
real. So many rules. That I just wish they would you know how in some games when you read a rule on a card, it'll like describe what you need to do?
Yeah.
I need that in this game. There's so much re-referencing the rule book.
The
Oh.
law of oath or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The law of oath.
Yeah, so the way this game is a what's the best way to say it? It's
Yeah, I don't know how to
action
categorize this
selection game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it's called a chronicle game because it's designed to quote unquote save your progress between game to game, but not in a legacy style sense where the game evolves based on changes you make. This is more of the next game is based off of things that happened in this game. So you don't have to play
With the same
with
group
the
of
same
people.
group of people, but it's
Mhm.
like the reason that we're doing the things we're doing is because somebody made choices at the end of the last game,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
They essentially choose your new
Objective,
end game
basically.
objective and what places
That's
are going to be in the
so
world.
that's there's different oaths basically.
Okay.
One of the and whoever is basically doing that task the most is the oath keeper, gets a little oath keeper little plaque.
Mm-hmm.
The one we started out with, it was the most places, I think it was.
It
like,
was like your classic. Whoever owns.
yeah,
most
whoever's
of the
the
map.
most. So there's 3 kind of big groups you can see on the board here, and then each group has there's 2 over on the left side, and then 3 and 3 cards there, each doing a different place. And it was whoever owned the most of those cards was the oath keeper.
Yeah.
And then I ended up winning that game, and I chose was it the People's Favor? I think it was.
I think it was people's favorite.
Yeah, so whoever had the People's Favor the most, which is whoever's like kind of like the hero, basically. So that was another thing because it was like a resource, I think, at that point, because you could just
Yeah.
spend resources to get
Yeah.
the People's Favor.
You essentially have to keep giving. You put more and more resources on this card,
Right.
And eventually it becomes unaffordable, Or I think you have the choice to either add a coin or take a coin away
Yeah.
from the card, and there's a sort of a balancing
Right.
to do with that. Because if there's not as many resources on the card, it's easier to take away.
Right.
But if there's more resources on the card,
It could become less powerful.
it's more
It's harder to keep.
expensive to maintain.
And I think it was also if it got to a certain point, it reset. I think it was also
Yeah, you can like.
Yeah.
like if
you
it
have
got
to flip
if it
the
got
next
to
side.
like 8, it like flipped and did something else.
Something like that, yeah.
But this game is the very definition of a deluxe board game. So they only made one copy of this. Like you can see, they've got if you're looking on the screen here, they have the very nice neoprene with the edges knitted.
Yeah.
Beautiful player
board. Like that's the player mat. That's what you get in the game. Like this is like $120 game.
Okay.
You get
The
you got
coins
metal
are-
coins in there.
Yep.
Of course you got like the meeples like you do in the think like root. We're
But
talking to
they're-
say people's root.
They're adorable.
But
But
I mean,
there's-
they're always adorable. Not don't say but they're adorable. Like they're not in any other
Oh,
game.
No, gotcha. I mean, like in this game, for $120, you're
Yeah.
getting very cute,
Yeah.
custom printed meeples.
So, and the way that the game plays is everyone starts out in exile except for one person is the
The
chancellor.
Chancellor.
And then there are different things you can do to kind of you can persuade the chancellor to like bring you in
As a citizen.
as a citizen.
The Chancellor can offer citizenship. And
Yes.
that is, but they have to give them a artifact from the Imperial Reliquary.
Yeah.
And that is the moment when Corey was like, this is Cones of
This is
Dunshire.
Cones of Dunshire. This was like 20 minutes into watching the rule explanation when they brought that rule up, and I was like, Cones of Dunshire. And then like 5 minutes later, they were like, when you get to this round, you can roll the
Victory dice.
victory dice. And I was
They were
like,
like,
we've
"Oh,
never
there's a
mentioned
victory
this before.
Why didn't we roll the victory dice before?
Yeah.
And it was like in order to win the game, when the game that we played, it was funny because like
So I was the Chancellor.
he was a chancellor, so I don't think did you offer me citizenship? Did I like buy it
No.
the first time, or did I con my way in? I think
Can you
I-
cast a
There
vote of
may
no
have-
confidence for your chancellor?
yes.
There may
sort
have
of.
been a card that let you choose to become a citizen.
Yeah,
So-
there was. I knew I
so
did that
you-
the second time. I wasn't sure if it was the first
you got
time.
a card called Long Lost Heir,
That's right.
and it made you a citizen.
It made me a citizen, which is great because then all your troops become the Empire's troops.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the Empire like doubles, which means he's not attacking you anymore because he's attacking his own guys.
Okay, there we go.
But it also means that like you know, you don't have
The problem is that when you become a citizen, you have a new victory condition.
Ah.
The the Chancellor has to maintain the oath, and then there's like a secondary objective under that, such that if any citizen fulfills that, they win instead. When the victory
they become the
dice-
successor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I guess a situation arose in which Chris was fulfilling the secondary objective.
So you
and-
paid him to not be a citizen anymore?
Yeah.
well,
So
I
or
wanted to-
it
I
was
wanted
I
to
was
pay him.
trending in that direction is what it was.
Yeah.
So I made myself a citizen because I was going in that direction.
Yeah.
And then when he realized what I was doing,
Yeah.
he basically gives you money and then punch you out the door
Yeah.
and makes
Yeah.
you in exile again.
Yeah.
I'd
But-
say the last
So
like
I think
6
that
rounds
happened. I think I punted you out the door, and then you got Long Lost Heir, making you a citizen again.
Yeah, I basically went through the card deck and like eventually I just kind of kept like digging through areas where I knew a card had been discarded to get it to shuffle back around,
Okay.
and then forced myself to become in the citizen again,
Yeah.
and then stole his artifact, which allows him to exile people.
The scepter.
The scepter.
'Cause you have to hold the scepter.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
kick
you
people
gotta-
out.
These
Yeah.
are the things. Yeah.
Anyway,
And then ended up winning as being the successor because
Yeah.
it was like the most artifacts or something like that. Also,
something like that. Yeah. It was.
I forget how you win if you were in exile. I couldn't remember.
So
Oh,
if
there's
you're-
like
if
victory.
you're-
There's
you're in
cards.
If you
exile.
see there, they have the Vision of Conquest card.
Oh, that's right.
You have to get one of those visionary cards and then complete that visionary card and hold it for an entire round.
That's right, because there
Or-
was a couple of times where like you were going to win, and then we were having to be like, okay, what are we gonna have to do to
Yeah.
like
So
keep you from?
You can either fulfill a vision, or you can fulfill the oath that the Chancellor is trying to fulfill. You just have to fulfill it better than them
On
and
the end
maintain
round.
that for a round. And that's when you become the usurper. And you
Right.
win as the usurper.
That's right.
Yeah. So, But yeah, that was a pretty fun game. I think I played as the Chancellor both times I've played it. I did manage to win the second time.
Did we play as 2-player? Could we do it as
No,
2-player?
we played with 3 players. I don't know if you could play 2-player.
I don't remember.
If only there was a website.
But I did like the I do kind of like the pseudo legacy element of it, in that you go to play the next game, and it might be a different group of people, but you're sort of like, oh, these locations on the map are like ruins from the last game.
Yeah, 1 to 6 players.
And,
Okay.
So you could play 2.
oh yeah.
Are you sure we didn't play 2?
I only remember playing
With 3?
2 games.
Mm.
Maybe we did play 2.
I think we
don't
might have.
know. Okay.
Either way.
Anyway.
So this game bills itself as a game where it's like, oh, it's like Legacy, where you don't have to play with the same group of people, but you're gonna want to.
Yeah.
Teaching someone how to play this game it's not terrible.
It's not. So this game, it's very intimidating, where you lay everything out, and especially if you watch a video on how to play, you're like, what?
yeah.
But if you actually open up the box, you'll still be like, what? But they have a deck of cards that you it's like, start here. And it's like,
Okay.
it kind of like, okay, now we're going to set up the board. And now we're going to go like one turn at a time, like picking everything.
And it's one of those like, don't shuffle this deck.
Yeah.
Start with
Yep.
the okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Like, you won't use these cards ever again unless you're teaching somebody again. But it walks you through every step of even setting up the board, laying out, choosing who's going to be the exile versus the Chancellor at first. So it gets you the flow of the game, but it definitely takes a game or so, or it takes a round, or like even after you've finished, you then are kind of going through the motions.
Mhm.
But then like it may take another 30 minutes before you're like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing now. Like I thought I understood stuff, but it was like, wait, what am I doing here? Like, how am I progressing towards a victory condition here in some ways?
Yep.
Before you just be like, oh, now I know that I need to go here and do this and spread my people out and do this and that.
grab these cards.
I'm just looking at the titles of the pictures, and these guys are like comparing dice tray sizes.
Oh, I didn't realize it had it up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
My
like,
dice tray is
my friend's dice tray is
burlier than
burlier than yours.
It is pretty
yeah.
burly.
Ooh, somebody made a Chronicle book.
Oh, wow.
That's really pretty.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the theming of it.
And the
It's I always find the art style for
Yeah.
Root and Oath to be sort
Kyle
of,
Farron.
I don't know if anachronistic is the right word. Not anachronistic.
It's like
Uh,
pop art tokens.
it's like a juxtaposition of like very cute like woodland animal art, but then you're talking about
But a little
them
bit
all fighting
abstract.
and
It's got
Yeah.
like a little bit of
Yeah.
abstractness in there.
Yeah.
I feel like.
It's like a
Yeah.
child's book, but with dark themes.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to go
sort
for?
of Red Wally, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. In that it's animal creatures fighting with swords and
Yeah.
whatnot.
So I liked playing the game. I think that when Chris brought it over and we did the tutorial, that was really a great way to learn.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I'm not ever thinking, oh man, I'd love to play Oath this weekend, the same way that I think like we played Foundations of Rome. I asked Jimmy to play that game with me every day that week. We just played Twilight Inscription. I've asked him to play that game with me almost every day this week. And I think the reason I'm not as into Oath is that the last few rounds end up being a game of takeaway, which can be really fun.
Right.
But I just don't know. It's not scratching an itch for me.
Yeah, like you, especially given the price. This I think this would be completely different if it was a $60 game with maybe a little less deluxeified components. You really have to have you have to know you want this game and know you have a group that are also just as willing to play it and as into it as you are. So I feel like this is a good, like, the Gen Con library kind of game. Or like any con that's got a library, like PAX Unplugged or anything like that, go try this game out. And then if you're like, oh, I really like that, and the people you're playing with are like, oh, this is really great, then go get it. Whereas you're not spending $120 for a game to just sit on your shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Maybe you'll play it once or, that sort of thing.
I think you describing the takeaway thing was a perfect
Yeah.
reason for why
You
I don't
like
know,
it?
Maybe it's just not why I like it. Why I might not love it. And I realize it's kind of simple, but it's that like purely adversarial. Like I realize we play other games where you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this objective before you do, so that you can't get those points. But this feels different. Of like
you do have to be like,
directly
oh,
fighting people.
Chris, Jimmy's gonna win.
Yeah,
So we need
yeah.
to
Yeah.
screw him over. And then
Yeah.
the next round, it's
Which
Chris and
that's
Jimmy
part
being
of
Yeah.
the charm of the
Yeah.
game is I like that little bit of player interaction,
Yeah.
but that is not that some people are not going to like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So try it out.
That's a good point. Play it with your group of friends because maybe you'll be really into it.
Right. That's what we're saying. Like you got to try it with the people you think are going to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for people who like that mechanic, it does very well. It's a very well balanced game of takeaway because you never feel like you're secure in your victory.
Right. You've not played Root yet, right? I know I lent it to you, but you
We've
haven't
played
played
it.
We played it.
Okay.
We
Played
play.
it.
I feel like the other thing is this feels like it's a very similar niche to
Yeah.
Root. Like when I would want to play this game, I feel like I'd rather play Root.
100%
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah.
That's the kind of like it doesn't have the ongoing story beats that this game does, but that kind of like there's still that little bit of player interaction bits where it's like so and so's getting toward
Yeah.
Philip's getting towards the end, or Corey's got a victory condition if she holds these 3 things in the end of her next turn, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I feel like you still get those pieces, but it's in a much more manageable state, at least the base game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of and it's the same company kind of thing.
And with Root, I feel like in this game you can be an exile or decide to play as a citizen or decide to play as the chancellor. I feel like those are 3 different types of like gameplay you could go for. With Root, there's so many different ways that you could play because there's so many different factions, and even within a faction you could play with a different strategy every time.
Yeah, and each faction plays a different way, where it's like one game or one faction might be more of this. When I say plays differently, mechanically,
Yeah.
like they may be doing different things.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's my opinion. Or I guess we're all kind of on the same page. Granted, we have not put in like lots of time into the game, but
I think that we play enough games that we know what we like and
Yeah.
we know what
Yeah.
we don't. Not saying it's not a good game. It's great. I just don't think it's for
yeah.
me.
I just say it's nice because what happens a lot of the time is I'll be like, hey, I want to try out this game. Cool, I'm going to leave it here at y'all's house now.
You've played a few times. It's great for us too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, like they were mentioned with Twilight Inscription, where
Uh-huh.
it's just like I invited them to play. I'm like, hey, why don't y'all take it home? Because they will get more plays of it in than I will just like by myself or with getting people together to play.
Mhm.
So and then
Well, if you want to play more Twilight Inscription, I would like to play it 8 more times.
that will be coming up later.
Cool.
That and I also have Root stuff on the shelf, but that's in the stuff I've bought. It's on a lower shelf than all the review stuff.
Review stuff.
Nice.
So, I didn't come up with a game show for
Oh.
this, but
Oh.
I thought that we could do some more same but different.
Okay.
Nice.
Alrighty. We'll do a few
But
rounds.
we're not we'll do a couple rounds. We're not gonna do the points. This is just gonna be open forum.
Okay.
Nice.
So, here we go. What is something? So, for those of you that have not seen this, what this is a game where I'm going to read off 2 prompts, and we're going to have to come up with a saying that you can say at both of these scenarios. So, for instance, what's something that you can say on your deathbed and in a love poem?
Let's see here. You take my breath away. Let's see here.
In the end, I'm all alone.
Oh no.
My heart stops when you leave.
I'm in love with your mom.
All right. What is something you can say when complaining to your landlord and while hungover? I
don't know where all my money went.
Oh no.
I swear I don't know where that hole came from.
Why is my bed wet?
Oh no. I can't beat that.
Is that what you say, or you say
Yeah.
you can't?
I can't.
All right. What is
My bed wet.
what is something you can say at your high school graduation and to a MILF? Well, Mrs. Johnson, I'm 18 now.
Yeah, I was all just trying to think of like some teacher's name and be like, "Hey, what's good?" Let's see here.
I think I need a timeout. Oh wait, high school graduation.
Yeah, high school graduation. High school graduation.
And to a MILF. I've really achieved something here.
Dang, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this one.
Yeah.
How about I'm graduating summa cum
Summa
laude.
cum laude.
Cloudy.
All right. Something you can say while getting a haircut.
Okay.
Wow. And during morning sex.
Let's keep it short.
Hey, that's a good one.
Hey.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Hey.
I've got to be back at the office in 20 minutes.
Let's see
Trust me,
here.
you're better off bald.
See something tip.
Dark side.
You can go to Manscaped. Just a quick buzz.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, there you go,
that
Rusty
what
Beetle.
said
I have
Beetle?
I have a 4.0. Do you want a summa cum laude?
There we go.
There we go. That's the
good.
winner.
That's fantastic. We know who's gonna win this game.
All right. Something you can say to your personal trainer, something sex. I feel like something you say to your personal trainer and after getting caught having sex in public.
Give me 10 more.
I didn't think
Give me 10
I didn't think I'd get this sweaty.
Let's see, stretching.
I didn't know I could bend that way.
There we go. Okay.
Just give me a second. I'm a little out of breath.
Out of breath.
Sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Balconies count as outside?
Balcony.
Something you could say while getting a spray tan and while hiding a dead body.
So you sure this is gonna hide it?
This is gonna wash out of my hair, right?
Oh.
Oh.
Wow, you have great skin.
Not sure about the coverage there.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
there we go, that one.
Okay. Wait, did Beetle do another one?
He was talking about remember to close the eyes.
Oh. Damn.
And then he said, "We just want to pump them up."
I think Beetle's got best one.
Got jokes.
All right. We'll do. You missed a spot. All right. Well, I think one more. I think that,
Okay,
and then
all
that'll
right.
be a good place to
All right.
end the show. Something you can say to a drive-through worker,
Okay.
and after stepping in dog poop, a non-sex related one. Something you say to a drive-through worker, and after stepping in dog poop.
I always want to be polite to the drive-through
Yep.
workers.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so
yes,
much.
thank you so much for this experience. I'm ruined.
No.
Ruined.
I'm ruined.
I want to make. I'm my head. I'm trying to figure out how I can correlate this to the McDonald's ice cream machine being down.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
never financially recover. Let's see here. Oh yeah, you could be like something soft serve.
You smell something? Do y'all smell something?
You know, smells. Ooh, smells great.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Looks like Taco Bell.
Boo.
Yeah.
All right, I got to
One
do
more after.
One more.
We need something that we actually have. Something.
Every-
Turns
single
out not
time.
having something that refers to sex is a bad thing.
It's hard for us.
Oh God, something you could say while buying Girl Scout cookies.
Okay, more please.
More, please. Yes. No.
And when a sex scene comes on in a movie.
Yes,
more
more
please.
More, please.
More please.
Earmuffs.
Shut up and take my money.
I like the Samoas. I'm trying to think of names of Girl Scout cookies. now.
Dosey.
Yeah,
Oh no.
Thin Mints, Dosey Does.
I like the way they do-si do.
Let's see. I need to take a cold shower
Wait,
Ate too
what?
much. Ate too
What?
much.
because I ate too much cookies. And
Okay.
I sweat a lot.
Now this is something you could say while buying Girl Scout cookies.
Oh.
That's why I was like, wait a minute. I'm just gonna go on this database real quick. I'm like,
Like,
add.
Allegedly.
What did Beetle say?
You guys always put these in the right spots, don't you?
No,
eh.
Phil, formerly from High Tide,
Okay.
he said I got kicked out for eating too many brownies.
Oh, okay.
Dark. Dark.
I like it. I think the more please is the,
The
is, the
more
correct,
please.
is the correct answer there.
More
I was
please.
like, you guys always put these where you're going to catch my attention.
Fair.
That's good. That's good.
I almost missed it.
Why is the sex scene on outside of a grocery store?
It's performance art.
Performance art.
It's a flash mob.
Hey! But you can't film it on iPhone
You can't.
because it doesn't support Flash.
Oh.
That was same but different.
same but different. Come back next week.
Or don't.
Or
I don't
don't.
care.
All right.
If you don't, then me and Chris will just play Twilight Inscription, and that works for me.
You know, there is a thought, because I had a thought of we do this every other week. It's something I'm thinking about, where we do the Mondays that we're not recording and do gameplay, like, because we're usually
Right,
playing board
film
games,
the game.
but filming it here and
Right.
streaming it here.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, that way there's something always on the channel on Monday, so you don't have to be like, wait, which week is it?
Will you make me mac and cheese like like High Tide does?
I wonder how filming.
No, but you
Twilight
could pick it up on the way
That's
here.
fair.
Yeah.
How filming what?
Twilight Inscription would go.
Yeah, there's so many little things to
Oh, yeah.
cross out. We just have to yell about what we're doing.
You would
I'm
just need a
scratching
close-
out this section.
You need a close up of everyone's board, I guess. Just put a GoPro on everyone's face.
Yeah,
what
there
can
you
you
go.
say when staring at everyone's board?
Everyone's got a GoPro strapped to their forehead.
Forehead.
Just look at it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah, Phil says just stream from High Tide.
Here we go.
That's probably easier.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna say roll that bean footage, but don't hit it there because it's coming through in mono, and it'll well no, never mind. The podcast gets down recorded to mono anyways. Hit that beautiful beat footage.
There we go. That's been our show, everyone. We want to thank our wonderful guests, Jimmy and Corey.
I
Give them a round of
exist.
applause. Yeah. If you like this show and you want to see more of what we're doing, you got to check out boardsandSwords.com/live. That's got the links and the schedule to all of our streaming channels.
All right, send us feedback. We love it. It eases our ego and lets us know that someone out there cares. Email us feedback@boardsandswords.com, facebook.com/boardsandswordspod, instagram.com/boardsandswordschris. I'm not even going to mention Twitter. Boardsandswords.com for links to everything else like our Patreon. Check it out to help support the show. Meanwhile, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and most of those risky cards apparently are sex related. Apparently risky means sex.
But also dog poop.
So it's either sex or dog poop.
Have a good night, everyone.
Practice safe sex.
And pick up after your dog.
every
Of every
episode.
episode.
Get your cat spayed and
Get your
neutered.
cat
As I muted. Do you own a lizard?
And
Do what you're supposed to do with those.
if anyone sees a stingray, it's fight on sight.
Fight on sight.
Was it
Imagine-
you,
know
was
what
it
they
you
did.
that sent me that TikTok that
I
was
sent-
like,
yeah.
I know you be out here trying to be like, oh, that's cute, but I still ain't gonna forgive y'all for what you
No,
did to
no.
Steve.
It's fight on sight for Steve, man.
How does one fight a stingray?
Punch it.
Punch it from the bottom or the top?
You
Yes.
take it out of water.
Take it out of the water.
Yeah. it's
But
not-
have you ever
can't be a
seen
fair
their
fight.
little mouths on the bottom? They smile.
That was the video.
That was
they
the
look
vid- yeah.
all.
They
It's
were,
like them feeding them.
one.
Yeah.
You're like, no, it's fight on sight.
I know what you did.